Okay, day 3 of week 5. It's the last day before the transfer break. It's the last day before Christmas. It's the last day before the new year. And we've lost one of our commentators. I've got Doug with me. How you doing, Doug?
I'm good, Martin. How are you?
I'm fine. What do you think's happened to Stu? He's been he's been captured by Father Christmas or somebody.
No idea. He's pulled his plug and something's gone wrong.
Yeah, I think it's the same gremlins that were getting grey in the live stream last night when it went off. I think his missus is doing the hoovering and pulled his plug out, and he's had it. So hopefully Stu's going to join in at some point during the show, whatever you want to call it. But we'll have to.
Maybe Gray's budgies are chewed through the cord.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? I must say his new cat got out the chimney breast and eaten through the wire. That could be what it is. So good day's racing again yesterday. You nearly got a winner, didn't you?
Almost, but Timmy knobbed me on the line.
Oh no, we've got to watch him. He's getting good, isn't he? That's 2 now.
Isn't he? He's got some good 2-year-olds. I've noticed that. His older horses are okay, but his 2-year-olds got a bit of zip in them, so
yeah, perhaps that
he's
means
obviously on the right track with his breeding.
Yeah, he must be just getting to that point where they start getting good, which will be good for him. Hopefully, he'll get a few in the transfer window, and then next season he'll be even better. So that's got to be good stuff. So yeah, good day's racing. Yesterday we've got interesting day again today. It's all international stuff today, isn't it? To end the year.
My side of the planet.
Yep, your side of the planet. So you really want to be the top man today to tell us what's going on. So what should we have a look at first?
Let's go to race 33 in the Singapore Airlines International Cup. People out there want an easy way to find out about racing in Singapore is just check it out on Facebook. Go to their page. I've liked their page. I get regular updates and lots of pictures. Don't have to do much reading, so that's nice. So
that's good.
It's good racetrack. You always see photos of horses sweating like crazy because it's hot and humid, but standard of racing there is fairly high. Not as high as Australia or Hong Kong or Japan, but it's not bad. It's decent.
So is that the place you were hoping to go to this last visit, or was that somewhere else?
I spent a night there, and an evening, night and morning, and but I want to go back there another time and get to a race meeting. A lot of their meetings are under lights, I think. So,
that's good. I don't know a great deal about Singapore. To be honest, I don't know a great deal about racing your side of the world, really. I'm one of those sort of old-fashioned British and European sort of people who's tended, apart from the last few years, to sort of disregard the rest of the world when it comes to racing, because we've just got this assumption that ours is better than everybody else's, which is a typical English approach to a lot of things.
Well, that's the problem with you Brits. You've just forgotten about your colonies.
That's right. We've forgotten how to play cricket as well, haven't we? Giving us another good walloping in that as well. So
3-0, 3-0, 3-0.
Yeah, having a go at the singing now. Stu's singing yesterday, you singing today. Where's it going to end? Anyway, let's have a look at this first race then, shall we? This Singapore Airlines International Cup. Looks like a pretty good race to me.
Yeah, it's a pretty good race. In fact, all the trainers there, couldn't rule any of those trainers out. I suppose Colin Clark's Count Bluebell is obviously the lowest rated, and you'd probably think maybe the one that probably doesn't have much of a chance. The rest, 104 up to 117.
Well,
this is wide open, this race. Wide open.
It is, isn't it? And it's got one of those interesting things about it again, hasn't it? With Zara Proval comeback horse from a couple of seasons ago. I think that one prefers the dirt, though, doesn't it? And has a tendency to get itself into trouble in races, getting itself boxed in and all sorts of stuff. So that'll be interesting to see how that one goes. Are you sort of leaning towards one in particular?
Well, I'm going to go for the Orange Aurora, Ollie Server.
That's interesting, because that's exactly the same one I'm going to go for, because I looked at it and I thought there's question marks about all of the others, really. Stephen Rand seems to have these things. They're either brilliant or they disappoint. There's no nearly with him, is there? He's winning some big races, but then a couple of his others are bombing out a bit. Paul Rose just seems to be having a really in and out season for him. Zara Proval's disappointing on its run so far this season, and definitely prefers the dirt. You'd have to throw Hippo.
Josh's horse will be there.
Yeah.
I just think this will come down to maybe who just gets the best run.
Yeah, and it's the other fact that Molliet Surfer's horses do seem to be a big leap ahead of what they were last year. He says that he really likes the soft ground, and it's soft ground. So it could be between him and Jim, really. But it'll be a good race, whatever happens. Looking
forward to it.
Looking forward to that one. I've got no idea what what Stu would have picked, but he wouldn't have been able to pick the winner anyway. So the good news for everybody there is that there's no kiss at Stu in that race, and we'll hear from him later, no doubt.
Breathe a sigh of relief.
So on to race 34 then, which is the Kranji Mile.
Kranji Mile. This is a big race in Singapore. The thing about Singapore is it's the first language there is English.
Oh.
So if you want a holiday in the sun in Asia, well, Singapore's a great place to start because English is the first language. So
that makes it slightly.
Indians and Asians, and they all speak English.
Oh, right, that makes it slightly better than Australia then, because English is the first language, is it?
In Australia, Australian is the first language. English is second.
Yeah, this does look like it's going to be a really good race, doesn't it? It's a sort of clash of the sort of Guineas horses. The Colts and the fillies can go in this, can't they? Wonder if we're going to pick the same one again. What are you going for this time?
This is another open race, isn't it?
Yeah, with the top four of all won good races.
I reckon I'm going to go with Turquoise Velez.
Oh, we're going to get real told off there because this is exactly the same one that I'm going for because it won for me last week. I tipped it last week to win and it did. And Darren Thompson is another one who's just jumped up a level, hasn't he, this season? And he's picking up some...
And the thing is, it's a soft track, but all the runners want firm or good or firmish. So everyone's in the same park here. And I just went for it. It's got the 2 wins. The others, no, the horses won 2.
Yeah,
there's been some consistent runners though. But
yeah, it won well last week as well. So yeah, I think we're going to both have to agree on that one. So we'll find out whether we're as bad an omen as Stu, won't we, later on if those two both bomb out. I noticed Stu's got one in this. He's obviously in there to try and pick up a little bit of prize money. He's about I don't know, £50 out of the rest of them. But all the big boys are in there again, aren't they?
I think it'd be hard to even sneak 5th.
Oh, you probably do want to finish 15th, and there's only about 10 in it.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so that's the two big races at Kranji. Then there's also a handicap with about 400 in as well. So we'll jump over to your neck of the woods next and have a look at this.
Australia.
This AJC Derby, because this looks like it's going to be a right good race, even though it's a reasonably small field. I think it's looking pretty interesting, and we've both got a horse in it. I
just put it in, and I thought,
yeah, but
no other race for it. And
not only that,
why not?
We've both got a horse in it that's won a race as well, so we're not totally out of it. You know, this could be interesting. It's a pity those top two are in there.
Up as the Mile Over of the Century.
If those top two weren't in there, we'd definitely fancy our chances. I think. Tell us a bit about yours, Mr. Spock. Are you a Star Trek fan or something? Or is that just called up for
the original Star Trek?
All right.
Yeah, from the 60s or whenever it was, and I don't. It's a funny thing. Usually, all my horses, I named them with something to do with the mum or the dad's name. And Mr. Spock's the first horse I didn't do that, and it's the only horse I haven't done it with. And for whatever reason, I remember sitting there and I thought, Mr. Spock. So I can safely say Mr. Spock is the only horse in the race that's actually on this home ground advantage.
It is. So that is a regular thing you do that?
Yeah. I do actually. I just go with what the game names them, the 2-year-olds, and then I've been really slack on it, but I'm starting to get on top of where I just go through and make sure that the name fits the sex. So if there's a horse named Miss Jane and it's a colt, which happens heaps of me, I overlook it, I don't see it. And the only ones I really rename are the ones that there's doubles for, the games pointed out that there's another horse with that name or whatever. So they're the only ones I really change, and then I just work off the breeding name.
All right. I must admit, I take ages picking a name for mum. If you make up if you give them a name, you end up getting more attached to them. I find, like if I name a horse after, I don't know, a particular song I like or something, then you really want it to be good. It's disappointing when it's rubbish. That's the downside to it. It's harder to get rid of them.
Yeah, I think I'll once I start getting horses that are really good, I might probably start naming them after maybe famous Aussie race horses from way back. So, but till that day comes along, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing.
Okay, so we'll look forward to that in SO9 then, shall we?
And probably about SO11.
Okay, so anyway, we've had a little talk about that. So you don't think yours has got much chance of winning?
Mine hasn't. Yours, you never know. But I still think there's something in the game where my horse running on an Australian track, and I think I've got a bit of a theory they do run a bit better, but it's not going to run any better than Pristine Stems or Jackie Chan, Supply Lines, Benute Hanau.
No, but it could run well enough to get into the money, couldn't it? If you think about it, because fifth is only rated 88, so you're only £28 inferior, and if your theory works, then home sort of field advantage might well be worth £28, mightn't it?
Yeah, we'll see what happens, but I think your horse has got more of a chance.
Well, my horse had a great chance until Jackie Chan and Pristine Stems turned up, because I don't think they were in when I put it in. This was my horse that was going to run in the Derby, and I had to do my entries on Thursday this week, and I looked at this race, and at that point, one of the best looking horses in the race was Platinum Playboy. Now, that was the one that mine beat, although it didn't really beat it. It got the race when that got disqualified, but it only beat it by a little bit, and I think mine would have won anyway over a little bit further. So I thought, I've got a good chance of winning this. And then, of course, Darren Thompson's put his horse that probably could have won the Derby in, and Paul Rhodes has got an unbeaten one in as well. So, and then Stephen Rand's got his diverted from Epsom horse as well, which I think that initially was in the Derby when I did my entries. I might be wrong. So now, I'm probably looking at hoping to sneak fourth or fifth, the same as you, but it's got more of a chance in this one than I think it had in the other one, but probably not going to win. I should give a good account of itself, I think.
In saying all that, I'm going to go with Pristine Stems, Darren Thompson.
Yeah, it's getting excruciatingly boring, isn't it? You and me just picking the same ones every time. But 2 wins, you told me this ages ago, 2 wins on a trot is very difficult to do in this league, so we're asking it to do 3 on a trot. Not many do that. I don't think he would have sent it here instead of the real Derby, as I call it, the Derby at Epsom, if he thought it was, unless he thought it was really going to be nailed on to win this, because he would have had a crack at the other one, I think. So, yeah, firm going. Got to be Pristine Stems. We're both going for the same ones again.
That's it. Well, yeah, we're not adventurous as punters, are we?
Well, not today. We're not. No, but we're either going to look really good.
In the past, though.
Getting 3 winners or 3 losers between us. So anyway, at least we're only upsetting one trainer per race so far today. So that is one good thing, and it is Christmas. We're supposed to be trying to be nice to people. So,
well, we should move on to the Oaks.
This is basically a Group 1 maiden, because there's not a single winner in the race.
That's correct.
Which is a bit of a surprise.
It is, isn't it? Really, a trainer from because we had the Oaks on the first day, didn't we? English one. Trainer there who had something smart would have been smarter coming here.
Yeah, it is surprising. I mean, I didn't really have one that could have gone. I did have one that could have gone in it, but she wouldn't have had any chance of winning it, and I've whacked her in one of them middle distance handicaps to see if I can get her into the final for later on in the season. But looking at this, she probably could have finished 4th or 5th. But I'm surprised that nobody spotted that it's a bit of an opening in this race and gone for it.
Definitely going for 5th place here.
Yeah, well, if your theory works again, you could be in there, couldn't you? You've only got to beat 2 to get in the money.
That's it.
So,
I'm hoping I can do it, but let's have a look at this field. I reckon we're going to be... Well, I'm just going to go for Winks.
What do you think about this Winks thing? Because I don't know, if I was you, I'd be thinking, well, Paul Rhodes, all the good horses he's got, and he's picked one to call Winks that ain't managed to win a race yet. Bit of a risk, isn't it? Calling a horse Winks. You're asking it to live up to a lot. I'd have thought, well...
I think Paul likes Winks, the real Winks, anyway.
Yeah, well, he couldn't. Yeah, because he's like a proper racing bloke, and anybody that's a proper racing person likes Winks. So it's good when you see a champion like that, the same as Franklin, all them. Everybody likes it, whether they bet on it or not, because you just like to see horses that are champions. I don't think we've got a SO6 version of Winks in this race, even though we've got one called it. You're gonna go for it, are you? You're gonna break its maiden in Australia? I suppose that would be quite sort of appropriate, wouldn't it? Really.
Well, to be honest, I think best horse in the race, I reckon, is probably going to be Time Bandit. It's only had the one start. It racked up 112 from that one start. Winks has had 3 starts and still sitting on 114. So either Time Bandit's reached its limit already, or it's going to just kick on well with it. And I'm just going for Winks. Yeah, well, just because of the name. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to go for Time Bandit, and we need to be going for a different one this time. Because I'm going to say Time Bandit's only had the one run. I think Winks has had 3 chances to win already and hasn't managed to take any of them yet. There comes a time when you have to say, well, you've had your chances and you're not good enough. And I don't think it's 114 horse, and Time Bandit could be 120 horse, couldn't it? So I'm going to go for Time Bandit. It'll be nice to see One in a Million win, because One in a Million was a good filly over here back end of the 70s, won the 1,000 guineas, I think. So that would be quite nice. But sadly I don't think that one's going to be quite good enough either, but it should finish in the money. So that's the flat done. Haven't we got through it quick without Stu? Must be Stu that does all the waffling, you know, because we've got through that in no end of time. I don't know what's this. You'll think we don't want him to do it. We'll have to stop
bits and pieces out.
Yeah, we'll have to add bits in today to make it long enough. Okay, so that's that.
We're off to the hunt, are we?
Yeah, we're going to have a look at a couple of races on the jumps. There's no big Group 1s today, but there's a couple of interesting ones. One at Clonmel and one at Navan. So first of all, at Clonmel, we've got the Clonmel Oil Chase, which is race number 26.
Well, I can tell you my hunts table coming up to the window. I'm just going to cut a few and bring nothing in.
Well, you had a winner now, though. You had your first jumps winner, didn't you, last week?
Yeah. No, I'm really happy with that. But I've got a couple that I've put in that they're pulling up over 2 mile. So I've had enough of that.
Yeah, it's difficult to jumps, isn't it? Really, doing the entries is really difficult with all this sort of like novices, and then some novices can run in some races and some they can't, and you get it all worked out, and then you think, oh crikey, that one's not allowed in that one, and that one is in that, and then all it's an absolute nightmare sometimes doing the jumps entries.
I'm starting to think this might be my last season competing in the hunters. For me, like you guys have a pretty good idea of it. But for me, it's just a bit too confusing and frustrating.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things we said we were trying to talk about later on after the season finishes, trying to make the national hunt side of the jump side of it a little bit more accessible to people that don't know a lot about jump races, because we have to accept the fact, I think, that we've got quite a few people playing that either don't follow the jumps or they live in a country where jumps is different or they don't have it at all, but because it's a part of the game and it's all mixed in together, they want to be a part of it and they want to enjoy it, but they get confused. I get a lot of people sort of messaging me saying, how does this work? Why can't I put that horse in that race? Why is this? What's the difference between a novice and a juvenile? What's this? What's that? What's the other? So I think if we could find a way to sort of just make it a little bit clearer in the off season before we start, maybe we'll have to wait till SO7 because of people's games have already been moving on for so long they wouldn't be able to adapt. But I mean, as usual, I've got a few ideas. So Greg will sit there now tearing his hair out thinking, oh God, what's he going to suggest next? Because I'm sure he's going to get a little dollar, man, and stick pins in it soon. I keep coming up with all these wacky ideas and he's thinking, oh no, what am I going to have to change now?
I like your ideas for the hunt, but I don't know if it's going to swim. But I'll definitely be supporting it because it definitely makes it simpler.
Yeah, I think that's what we need to do. Because I know there's a lot of people that do enjoy it, that don't really get out of the novice side of things. And because we have the way we play the game, where most horses don't come back, the whole point of novices is completely irrelevant anyway. So anyway, we'll talk about that another day. Let's have a look at this Clonmel Oil Chase, Zoe, which is a grade 2.5 mile, lot of 2.5 mile races this week. So not a huge field, but that hasn't stopped these races being exciting this week. Had some really good ones. There was a couple of real close ones again last night. The heavy going as well. I'll catch a few out, won't it? So Group 2, this level weights. There's one that is massively overrated compared to the others, although I'm not 100% sure why. Colin Clark's Hungry Bear is considered £19 superior to everything else. So it's not like a regular.
Looks like he's came back from last season. He started about 10 times.
Oh, right. It must have been around a bit then, yeah. Again, that one.
This is its 14th start.
Is it? Right.
It could be 3 seasons too.
It could be, couldn't it? So it's certainly got a.
So it won a Group 3 chase 2 starts ago. So I reckon that must be this season.
Yeah, that was probably one of those ones at the beginning of the season, wasn't it? So.
Season 7, yeah. So this is its 4th start. So its 2nd start, its first start was in a hurdle, then it went to the chase and won. Then it ran 5th in the go-round champion chase, Group 2.
Right, so that's not done it any favours, has it really? Because if you're finishing 5th in a Group 2, you're not going to get your handicap marked down. I mean, this isn't an handicap, so it doesn't matter. But it looks like it might be one of them things for Colin Clark. It's one of those consistent horses that's going to keep coming 4th or 5th. And he's
he just bags one here and there.
Kind of mean it never gets into the sort of lower handicaps to pick up the win again. But it's looking at that, it could win this, couldn't it? Because there's not a lot in here with form, and you wouldn't want to put money on Josh's standing on its feet all the way around the way it's been going.
That's right, yeah, definitely. It's got a bit of a knack for dropping the jockey.
And so has Leon van Rensburg's as well, which is a surprise because he's normally a top bloke in these races as well.
What about Stu's horse down here? That's bagged a 4th. fourth in the Group 3.
Yeah, it's a pity he's not here to ask about that. But that fourth may well have been in a hurdle though, because it's got a higher hurdle rating than it's got chase rating. So, but you never know.
Well, I reckon for me it's between two horses.
I bet they're going to be the same two. That's what I'm going to say.
I reckon they will be. Oxygen and Pandy.
That's it. Yeah, I exactly think the same thing. Oxygen and Pandy. I'm presuming that the statement that's been put up by Kevin Minahan is from a previous race, either that or he's gone totally round a twist, because he's put 2 mile 4 furlongs look too short, this trip is too far. And how long's the race?
2 mile 4 furlongs.
Yeah, so he's obviously either lost the plot or that's from last week.
Or he's trying to confuse people.
Yeah,
get them off the scent.
He could be, couldn't he?
I can't really split the two. There's sort of similar rating, similar sort of placings. If anything, Martin's horse has been just a little bit more consistent, but not by much. So I'm going to give it to Pandy.
Okay, well, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to give it to Oxygen. And the only reason I'm going to do that is because that statement where it says 2 mile 4 furlongs look too short, and then it says this trip is too far. I'm assuming that last week it must have run over 2.6 or 3 miles maybe. This is 2.4 on heavy going, so you're going to need to be able to stay a little bit further than 2.5 miles anyway. So I'm going to apply real racing logic to this and hope it makes sense. And also, if you look at Pandy, it does look more consistent, but it's also got a hurdle rating of 123. So I reckon most of those good runs have been over hurdles rather than fences. So that's the only swinging factor that changes it over for me. And of course, you're going to say Hungry Bear looks like it could be the class act in the race, so that one could beat them both. But I'll breathe easy with Oxygen.
I think if In a State of Madness stays in the race, well, I think will probably be the likely winner.
Yeah, it could be, couldn't it? Yeah.
The big question mark. Big question mark.
Of course, the thing that we've got to find out, we don't know, is Clonmel a race course that's been rebuilt by Gray? Because if it is, he has a tendency to make the fences about 10 times bigger than everywhere else. So if he's done that, then a State of Madness has got no chance of getting round at all. So it could be interesting. So we'll look.
I just assumed Clonmel was a real place.
Oh, Clonmel is a real place, but a lot of the courses in the game were not actually the real courses. They were just duplicates of the other. I think Chepstow was a copy of Newbury or something, and some of the ones that are not right, Gray has gone in and rebuilt them and remade them.
Yeah.
And if Clonmel was one of those, I know one or two of the Irish ones he's done because the fences have been enormous. I mean, said, how on earth are the fences that big? And I'm not sure whether Clonmel is one of them or not, but if it is, the fences will be too big for In a State of Madness, and that'll be the end of that. So
good point.
We'll see what happens with that one. So we just shoot off to a different part of Ireland now then for race 28, the Monksfield Novices Hurdle, which is a Group 2 Novices Hurdle. Now, Monksfield was a really, really good hurdler back in the golden days of hurdling, back in the sort of half of the 70s and the early 80s, when the likes of sort of Sea Pigeon and Beulah and Night Nurse and all Comedy of Errors and all those sort of horses were around. Lanzarote, some really, really good hurdlers, and so this is the race named after him. So it should be.
So is Navan a real racetrack?
Yep, Navan is a real racetrack. All of the courses are real. I just don't know whether they're the identical copies of them that we were using. I'm pretty sure that if we're using them in the league, then they either were originally the proper ones or Gray's rebuilt them. So it will be proper Navan. Interesting looking race, this Novice Hurdlers.
Well, I've definitely stayed away just because of the fact it's a G2. I don't even bother. So will this set weights?
Yeah, this will be set weights. This one.
Pretty strong field, isn't
It
it?
is. It's
You'd almost have to put in, I reckon, Blue Owasso, God of War, In a State of Shock, and Moidor Man. They've all got a rating of 100, so there's a good chance none of them have started over the hurdles yet.
Yeah, I think you're probably right with that.
So they're the unknown. Those 4 horses, they're the unknowns, and I'm going to put a line through them straight away.
Okay.
Cater the Glen, well, your horse has gone around on the hurdles. Not so good, but it's gone around. Looks like it's better chaser than hurdler.
Well, this is one for next year, really. I mean, that may sound a bit bonkers, but I didn't have a really good 3 mile, 2.5 mile, 3 mile novice hurdler, and she is going to make a really good chaser next season. And I thought, do you know what? I keep going on about bringing horses back and all that sort of stuff. So I thought I'm going to put her in as a 4-year-old and campaign her as a novice as a 4-year-old, and then bring her back as a proper full open horse next year at 5. Next year at 5, next season, she is going to be really good. Now, 1 week so far this season, I couldn't get her in a race, so I stuck her in a chase, and she ran quite well. But at 5 and 6, she is a really good 3-mile, 2.5, 3 mile hurdler at 5, and she's a really good chaser at 6. So she's one for the future. So
excellent.
if she can,
We'll keep an eye on
if she can pop round and pick up a bit of money this season, she'll be all right. But she's going to be around for probably, if we have 2 more seasons, and there's a good possibility she could be around for both of them after this. So she could be a 3-season horse, but probably won't win today.
I think today it's out of the top 3. And it's just a matter of picking one. I'm gonna go with Darren Thompson's horse, River Yukur.
Yeah, well, that's another one, isn't it? That's 1-2 on it. That's 1-2. I've got a feeling that maybe that unseated rider might have been in a chase, and that's why he dropped it back to hurdles again. I don't know, but it's 1-2. Some of our girl Jim Murray looks interesting, but the thing that makes you lean towards the top one, River Yukur, is the going, because Jim's wants it soft.
Yes, I didn't notice that.
And
yep, I didn't notice that.
Darren's wants it firm, so that's good. The thing you've got to take into account is a lot of people don't actually put the ground in. I know Paul Rhodes doesn't. He just loads all his horses up as wanting good going. So we don't know. With that might be a mudlark for all we know. It might need it like a road. So
that's an interesting point. Well, so Paul's is the unknown, but what we do know is that it hasn't started over the chase with 100 rating, the same as some of Vale Girl, Judas and Flower Road. They've just put into the game as hurdlers so far.
Yeah, so Paul must be sort of thinking it's a hurdler, well, he's not sort of experimenting and sending it over fences, because normally with him, if it's run 4 times and hasn't had a win, that's got to be close to getting the chop, I would think, this week, hasn't it, that one? I think it might be in the...
Probably its
last chance.
Moment of truth.
So I'm surprised he hasn't tried it over fences before now. So that does make it interesting. And Jim Murray he just seems so good at getting horses that finish second. He has a lot of winners, but he also has a lot of seconds, doesn't he? And if he says it like soft going and it's firm, then maybe that could be the end of that one. But River Yukur looks good. I think Darren Thompson's going to have a really good 3rd day. We have been really, really bored up because we've virtually tipped the same horse in every single race. Everybody will be shouting, "We want the kiss of stew! We want the kiss of stew!"
Make it interesting. It's 2 boring old bats.
Yeah, so anyway, he's probably out busy buying his sort of Max Bygrave's Christmas album or whatever he's doing, or something, or rescuing a cat from up a chimney, or something. So that's that then. So that's the end of week 5. We're done now, aren't we, for Christmas, New Year? We're going to try and do
That's correct.
Try and do a bit of a special in the break if we can get anything sorted.
Work something out.
We'll have a go at something, and in the meantime, I suppose we just sort of have a good Christmas and a New Year.
Same to you.
It's been good talking to you as always, and hopefully we'll get hold of Stu at some point, and we'll get loads of messages with expletives in our little group text thing. Because he can't get his microphone to work. I hope he's done all his commentating, otherwise we could end up doing some commentating later. So.
Something's probably very simple's gone wrong.
Yeah, I should think it's bound to be something fairly simple, isn't it? It normally is, when that sort of thing happens. But the more you look at it, the more frustrated you get with it, and you end up not seeing it. He'll find something out later on that he's not plugged it in the right hole or something, and that's all it is. It's
and sometimes it's just a matter of just turning the computer off and then turning it back on.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
It is, yeah. So anyway, have a good Christmas, Doug, and I'll hopefully speak to you pretty soon, and we'll see everybody later on.
Sounds good. No worries. See you later.
Okay, the magic of Christmas, Santa Claus, fairy godmothers, whatever you want to call it, fixed the computer, and who have we found but Stu? How you doing, Stu?
Hey, I'm okay now, thanks very much. A little bit later than normal, but we're here now.
A little bit later than normal. It's dark here. What about a little bit later?
It's finally got dark here. Just.
So, you had a few problems with your old computer, I gather, and it was a real technical problem that you needed a degree to sort out.
Yes, no, I did, of course. Luckily, my technical degree helped. drawing.
That's what we need to know.
That's enough.
Okay, you're not going to go into any more details then about that.
I'm not going to admit it was something as simple as a mute button, Martin. Come on.
Okay, well, we'll just have to keep that one and we'll hang that one over your head for a while and we'll bring it out as and when we think it's appropriate. So,
That's about right.
anyway, it's the middle of the night where Doug is now, so he's probably fast asleep with his little koala bear or whatever he has, and we're going to have a quick look and get the Kiss of Stew. We thought everybody was safe this week. We thought there was no Kiss of Stew for today's racing. All the trainers have been breathing a sigh of relief, and now, purely by magic, you're here and you can give the Kiss of Stew. So what about the Singapore race first of all?
Okay, looking at that, I'd like to go with Zara Approval for John because it's a returning horse, and there seems to be a bit of chat going on about returning horses recently, meaning today. Mm-hmm. But generally, it's only ever really won on dirt if you look back over its history of last year. So I don't think it's going to go well on soft ground. So very quickly, I think I'm going to go for Jim's Ancient Rock Boy. It's got a win in there. I assume you've all gone for Heir Apparent for Paul Rhodes, but
no, bizarrely, me and Doug have gone for the same horse in every race except for one. And I think in this one, is this Turquoise Velez in this one, or is this in the next one?
No, it's in the next one. Turquoise Tomato in this one.
We've gone for something in this. It's the same. I can't remember what it is now, though, because I haven't got the.
Steve Rann horse.
Yeah, that could be.
Ron. Oh God.
Yeah, that's the one. He got his name wrong again already. Yeah, we've gone for that one. Anyway, yeah, we've gone.
I'll go to Jim's Ancient Rock Boy.
Right. Okay. So poor old Jim ended up with the belated Kiss of Stew. What about in
the Christmas Kiss of Death?
Yeah.
That was just my little jingle. Okay, the Christmas Kiss of Death and the Cranji Mile then.
Yep.
It's not, I don't think this is particularly a really top field. There's not very much. The top three of all, or the top four of all won. But I'm going to stick my neck out and give, because I assume you lot have gone for Turquoise Velez.
Well,
so
I've just told you that, yeah.
I'll go for Finjet of Paul Rhodes.
Right, okay.
Sorry, Paul.
That's good to see you sharing the Christmas kisses around and not giving them all to the same person. So then off we're off to Australia next then for your thoughts on the Australian Derby.
AJC Derby, yeah, there's a few horses in there have only run once, haven't they? So you're not quite sure how good they are. Though Paul's got Jackie Chan in it, won first time out. Pristine Stems, which ran very well last week. No supply lines for Stephen Rann.
Right, okay, I think.
Happy Christmas, Steve.
I think me and Doug both went for the same one in this again as well. I can't remember what it was. I'm that busy doing the editing. Anyway, Oaks next.
Oh yeah, Ramwick. Yeah, small field again. It does appear that not a lot of us have obviously got that many fillies, because that was the Oaks yesterday. The Oaks, obviously in the UK, they've all been small fields.
Yeah, and there's not a single winner in that.
I suppose you really got to look at Winks, haven't you? It's got a little solid kind of form. It hasn't ever won. But because it's the spirit of Christmas, and we like to share things around at Christmas, we're going to go for the little outsider, which is Pristina for Darren Thompson. Happy Christmas, Pristina.
So there you go. So the kisses of stew, kisses of death, kisses of Christmas, or whatever we're going to call them this week, are being spread about quite a lot.
Yeah, no, I'd like to be fair at this time of year, the time of sharing and caring and such like.
Jolly good. So what about the old jumps then? We're going to look at two races today on the jumps, both in Ireland, one at Clonmel and one at Navan. The Clonmel Oil Chase was the first one we had to look at.
Okay, quite a small field again. Though it's on heavy conditions, which has thrown up a few over the last couple of days that have been a bit strange. Not particularly got a few unseated. There's a lot of unseated. The bigger boys.
Yeah,
very
we noticed that.
Gather, Andy. Oh, it's a tough one. Actually, I tell you what, if I give mine a kiss, then it's guaranteed not to. It was never going to win anyway, so that would look good. Now, okay, Marty Cairns, it's Pandy for Pandy. Happy Christmas to you.
Well, that's interesting because Doug went for Pandy as well, and when me and Doug were talking about it, we both got it down to two, Pandy and Oxygen. I went for Oxygen and Doug went for Pandy, so now you've gone for Pandy as well. So that's pretty interesting, and that just leaves the last one then that we looked at today was the Monksfield Novices Hurdle at Navan. Novice
Hurdle. Again, there's a few unseated horses in this, isn't there? Even the River Yukur, the top one's unseated last time out. I've got one in this as well, but I doubt if it will win. Okay, I might maybe Cirrus Chill actually here, though it's a 4-year-old. Oh, serious. If that had been a 5-year-old, mate, you would have got your first kiss of death, I think. But because it's a 4, I think it's going to go to Summer Val Girl for Jim Murray. Sorry for the second kiss for you, Jim. But I wish you a happy Christmas. Summer Val Girl.
There you go. So I'm glad you got your computer sorted out, Stu, because it wouldn't have been the same to do the last show before Christmas without some kisses of
I was a little bit
Stu.
disappointed I couldn't get on with Doug as well, so it kind of it was a little bit of a downer. But at least I've managed to get in now.
You have indeed, and we will be back for a mid-season review jamboree type show thing sometime between now and when the window opens. Then, so have a good time then, Stu. Sorry it's a bit quick and short and sweet today.
No, likewise. Happy Christmas to you all. Happy Christmas to all the team and all the guys that just take part in the league.
Yeah, we're good. Then we'll see everybody in the new year.
Perfect. Okay,
All
bye
right.
for now.
See you later. Ta-ra.
Bye.